Well, hello, everybody. It's approximately 3 o'clock on a Friday. Today is what, the 23rd, 26th?
Sorry we're late.
Yeah,
better late than never, though.
A couple audio problems, but we ironed that all out. But you guys are watching the Alt+Tab live show. I'm Steve.
I'm Kyle.
And what do we got going on today, Kyle?
Well, we have a very special guest with us today, Steve.
Today is what, the 23rd,
Many of you know him as
sorry,
we're late. Lee from PCJunkieMods.
A couple audio problems.
What did you do?
But you guys are watching
the stream open on this.
You ruined my introduction of Lee.
I know.
You are such an.
Now they know.
You're such a hole. That's just what I'm going to call you on the stream now.
I'm whole.
You dumb hole. Anyway, it's Lee from PCJunkieMods. How's it going, Lee? Nice to have you on. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
What up, man?
Absolutely. How you been doing?
I'm doing all right. Just
now you're making
pulling
noise.
my hair out.
Yours.
It is?
No, all the way. Hit the button. Hit the speaker. There you go. Now it's good.
Interrupting our special guest again.
Our special guest
Come on,
with you
Steve.
recorded all over again.
Hole. So
go ahead.
No. Clearly, you have something to say. So let's hear it, Steve.
All right. So Lee, Kyle had something to say. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, pick up where you left off, Lee. So what's been new? Any cool builds going on? Or first of all, tell people that don't know who you are, what you do, who you are, and what you do.
So I'm Lee from PCJunkieMods. I do custom computers, just pretty much overboard computers, and gaming rigs, all kinds of stuff, water cooling, whatever, what have you. So anything cool that I'm working on? I'm actually trying to finish my desk. This right here next to me. It's a Red Harbinger desk. If you haven't seen the videos, you can look me up on YouTube.
Show that. We can show that while you're talking about it.
You can show that.
Yeah.
So this is a desk, from what I understand, that you can actually build a PC or even a couple PCs inside. Is that correct?
Yeah. So mine has actually my full-on gamer in it, and then it has a media server in it too.
Nice.
So a lot of people use it for, to be able to do the dual system. They'll do either two gamers, one as a main system, one as a backup, or some of the people are actually doing the media server thing now too. So
are those 360s, two 360s inside the radiators?
There's two 360s, or there's two 480s in the back, and then there's a 360 on the left-hand side.
Wow, it's just.
So is pretty from the looks of it, almost nearly every component is water cooled, custom water cooled here, and I can see that you've also done some custom sleeving as well. How long does a project like this typically take you?
Depends on how much stuff I got going on. My personal stuff usually gets put on the back burner because it's not paying the bills. So.
Yep.
But this is your personal system, though, right?
Yeah, I've been working on it for like 3 months.
Wow.
So I'll finish it when I get back from Paris.
Yeah, so you're also going to Paris. What's going on with that?
So I can't tell you too much. It's just I went from basically Mod24. We did that thing with NVIDIA, which was a blast, and then I got asked to go from another company to Paris, all expense paid, to do another mod competition. So that ought to be interesting. It'll launch sometime next year, I think the end of Q1 or something like that.
Okay. Well, clearly you do a lot of mod competitions. I don't know if anybody out there already saw. He was actually at Game24 doing Mod24. Linus and Luke were both they were both moderating and judging. Is that what they were doing? Yeah,
they're pretty much the host for the show, and I think they did an awesome job.
Fantastic.
Nice.
All right, let me show them real quick what you sent me with some pictures. So this is the zombie build that you guys end up going with.
Very
kind of
cool.
cutting out there, Lee. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. So I'm looking at one of the pictures here of the build. You don't have the side panel on it, so we can see inside, and it's lined up to say it looks like zombies on the top.
Yeah, it says zombies across the edge there. Basically, what it was is we had to go with the theme, and since Call of Duty, I first started gaming Call of Duty 4, so I'm not like an old school gamer. I came in when the graphics started getting better, put it that way. So Call of Duty 4 was my game, and they gave us basically 3 options for a theme, and one of them was like electricity, the other was outer space, and your favorite gaming moment. So what me and Ron Lee Christensen, my partner from VHS Tech, we decided to just incorporate all 3. So basically looked up what satellites look like. That's where all the 3D stuff is coming in, on the back panel, on the front panel, and stuff like that.
Wow, you guys are a bunch of show-offs. Like, yeah, we're going to do all 3. I'm gonna go with all
say
three
one or
themes.
two.
Cover
Oh,
all your bases, right?
there you go.
You don't have to change up the build. You come up with an idea, and you can just flow with it. You don't have to alter anything because they didn't tell us which one was going to be the theme. They said it's going to be one of these three, so we're like, well, let's just do all of them.
Wow.
Cover all your bases. And honestly, electricity is a stupid theme for a computer anyway, because all computers are already electricity themed by default.
Right. So we just put a little high voltage thing on the power supply cover, and then
I saw that, yeah.
and then also you know in Call of Duty Black Ops they have that zombie mode that's in outer space on the space station.
Yeah.
That kind of incorporated the outer space and greatest moments because like Ron, he really likes that part of the Black Ops 2. And then I also, COD 4 being my first game, so everything kind of fell together.
So this kind of takes, I don't know, I feel like PC modding is clearly an art in just kind of how you just described it. Like you guys are taking aspects of your own personal lives or your own personal interests and you're putting that into your work. Is that kind of how you see modding, is kind of more of a free-forming version of art in a way?
Yeah, I mean, every modder it's just like a painter, every painter's different. It's the same thing with modding. Excuse me. For the most part, every modder is different. They all have their different styles. And one thing cool about like my partner, he's a graphic artist. So I mean, he's that kind of style is way above my imagination. I'm not. I can barely draw stick figures. You know what I mean? So
You're talking about Ron Christensen, right?
Yeah. I can do real clean builds. Real good at water cooling and stuff like that. So. And throwing together colors and coordinating colors, but as far as putting a minigun on the side of a chassis, that's not my forte,
Well, there's always someone that there's always that guy who knows how to put miniguns on the side of computers.
Right?
So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that guy's
so okay,
kid next door.
We kind of want to start off with a couple different stories, guys, and I found out about this case, the Fantex Ethu Evolve. Let me try and bring it up so I can show you guys. Pretty cool. It's a micro tower chassis. Lee, what do you think about this chassis?
Wait a minute.
Wait, what are you doing?
What's he doing?
This
Wait, is
chassis-
that it? That's the case that you just pulled up.
This one right here?
That looks surprisingly just like the Evolve I'm looking at here. That's amazing.
You are such a show-off, Lee.
When does this come out, Lee?
I'm not sure. It got announced on the 16th.
Uh-huh.
It's not in stores yet. I've been told that much. I'm actually supposed to do an overview, and from what I see right now, it's a 10. I give it a 10.
Wow.
Yeah, just rub it in, Lee. Just rub it in.
It's nice. It is ITX form factor. It supports a lot of water cooling. I've been working with Fantex now since I think the beginning of the year, off and on. I've looked at all their chassis. I really like all their chassis. They're all full water cooled capable. I don't have to usually do too many modifications. So that's a plus for me because especially when I do a lot of customer builds and stuff, I've been recommending their chassis because of the fact that if they want water cooling, I can pretty much just bolt in radiators and whatever, and we're off and running, But I haven't really got a chance to look at it. But what I did look at was this. Here, I'll show you. Let me zoom in.
Okay.
And it looks like even if you went an air cooling route, it looks like that case, even it being a mini ITX form factor, could still accommodate one of those massive Fantex air coolers. It looks like there's a lot of clearance there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. Hinge door.
Oh, nice.
I like that.
Okay. That's the front side.
Doesn't
where
hit the ground. Doesn't scratch up.
Another hinge door on the back.
Wow.
And then there's also, and it looks like they just slide right off. See?
Yeah. Pop off.
Just to give you an idea. And this piece right here on the front actually pops out too.
Yeah, I saw the image on the website for that. That's pretty nice. What size fan is that in the front?
It's like a 200?
It's a 200.
Okay, cool.
The
I
200
feel like I
mil.
can never gauge it right on mini ITX.
That was a total guess.
180?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks pretty nice. But anyways, so yeah, I'll have a review, or I don't really do reviews, more like an overview down the road when I get back from Paris.
What's your website so people can check out your work?
Yes.
Your reviews?
It's PCJunkieMods.com.
Okay.
So I might be doing some upgrades to that soon, to that website.
Nice. And I'm guessing that website's got like a gallery of some of the work that you've done over the past.
Yeah, there's some photos. I probably need to update the photos, but I'm kind of waiting to do anything because it might actually turn into some kind of store.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Selling what?
Selling pictures
Well, we'll
of
talk about
cases?
that later.
Can I buy like a PCJunkieMods calendar with you on every month of the year?
Or like a new chassis, a new
Speedos?
mod. Dude, if you did it with like different chassis modded,
That's
I
a
might
great
actually
idea,
do some
actually.
of that. Yeah, get that for Paul. He'd be pretty stoked about that.
You know, with you laying down next to it, of course. that would have to. That's a deal breaker for me if you're not in it.
Oh, that's so crazy.
That's exciting
dude.
stuff, dude. And then they can follow you on Twitter as well, I see.
Yeah.
At PCJunkieMods as well. So guys, go ahead and check those out if you'd like to keep tabs on what Lee's up to and all the crazy projects he's been working on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about a little bit of hardware out there. A couple of all-in-one CPU coolers that I've seen some posts on recently. Thank you. Actually, this one came from it's Angela, Nocturne Kitty. So thank you very much for this. Basically, here on PinoyUnboxing.com, they have DeepCool's new Captain series. It's this cooler, the CPU cooler here. Obviously, it's all-in-one and closed loop, but it has this nice little like almost like a reactor kind of design. I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's basically just. I don't even think that water goes through that, does it? Does anybody know?
Oh, I would think so.
It looks like, well, yeah, it's kind of going
like
in the
might,
loop.
right?
It looks like
it's designed
like
for eye candy, and it's like a pass-through. Just basically,
Right.
the liquid comes in at one spot, goes through that
the
tube,
top
and comes
goes
back through.
down through it. It's just like
Yeah.
it's pure aesthetics though. Like there's no reason
Is it really
to
though?
expose it.
Have you done the research? Like, there's
I
no
have-
actual
how could it
benefit to that
be?
little tube.
How could? Oh, wait, Lee, you've
even
done
if
it.
it's just for some fake marketing jargon that they want to throw in there that doesn't really. I'm just curious how they're advertising it. How are they marketing it? Is what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I don't see it being any kind of benefit. It's more
Right.
for eye candy, honestly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though. Don't quote me.
Oh, I'm quoting you on it because I've already just said it. I'm just kidding.
It could very well
Kidding,
maybe because I mean I know that there's probably a lot of people just looking at it will probably see it as like, wow, this is the most interesting, aesthetically pleasing, closed loop system I've ever seen. So
mean, look at this,
they
though.
buy
Doesn't
it
that
just
look-
based on looks.
Doesn't that look gorgeous?
It does. Well, that's a 3D rendered model.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Hey, how can you tell?
It says
Oh,
here,
you're right.
patented SS design, separated section. That's
Oh,
what
look, you can
SS
see it.
means.
You can see
Divides
it.
a powerful pump and cold plate into 2 blocks.
Ah, okay.
I
So the
see.
pump's on another side and run the water through it. So this way the pump doesn't heat up the plate, right? Or vice versa?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So interesting.
So there is some added benefit, but it's hard to say what kind of performance increase you're actually going to see from this
Yeah.
patented technology.
So PWM silent fans, 120 millimeters, can operate between 600 and 2200 RPMs. They're going to have it in 3 different flavors: 120, 240, and 360 millimeter versions. I contacted some of our people here to possibly get us some to test out. Might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do some benchmarks on it. But yes, I'm going right from one all-in-one cooler to another one.
Raijintek.
Yes, Raijintek, and I am forgetting right now who sent this to me.
That's cool.
Let me just double check real quick because I'll feel better. You want to talk about this one for a second?
I don't know too
you
much
don't?
about
Okay.
this cooler. This is the first time I've seen it.
Have you heard of Raijintek before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good, because I have not.
Okay. I was going to ask you, I've heard of them, but I'm not familiar with the kind of products they produce. I'm guessing
Coolers?
water cooling, if I had to take a shot in the dark.
West.
But
Yeah.
I have heard of them before. I've never seen this cooler before, but it says that it has customizable dye fluid, or dye that you can customize the color of your fluid. So
That's the worst.
that seems a bit more varied or flexible than the DeepCool one, which is just red. So if you don't have a red system, it's not going to match at all if you're into aesthetics. Which honestly, if you're doing a lot of water cooling and you're taking the time to do all this, then you probably do care about like color schemes and color coordination and whatnot.
Little
So
LED in there too?
that's really cool that you can actually fill it up yourself and whatnot. Choose which color you like.
So it's weird.
And it's got an LED inside, so it gives it all a nice little glow. I like how I bet Lee's just like looking at this and all and like just scoffing.
Yeah.
He's
like, he's like, I bend my own tubes, dude.
The option to be able to fill something up. I don't like the whole totally closed loop idea. Because at some point, I don't care if it's closed loop or not, you're gonna lose some liquid somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, eventually.
So-
Yeah, it looks pretty clean, and it was Kelly Tech. Kelly Tech sent me this article, so thank you very much for that, Kelly Tech. Then let's see, what else do we have here, Kyle? Give me a second here to look through some of our goods. I think we're looking at this is NVIDIA's SLI bridges that are LED lit. So basically, they come in 3 different versions, as you would expect: 2-way, 3-way. Oh wait, 2-way and 2-way spaced. Yeah, because they're PCB based.
Right.
And then 3-way. No 4-way one. Oh.
So is it just the little green emblem that lights, the NVIDIA eye that lights up?
Well, just so turns out that freaking Lee has one of these too.
What? What the hell?
Well, let me
Seriously? Are you working with all the vendors that we're covering right now? And
just go ahead, show us one more time.
Well, clearly you are.
Show us one more time. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, get out of here.
Wow.
Just go to Paris already.
So 3-way and the 2-way? Is it the space one?
Looks like it, yeah.
This is the 2-way is actually the extended one.
Okay.
So
2-way space.
you know, because they make a smaller version of that where it's you know, closer cards, and then they have this one for a lot of the SU sports have that spacing, you know, between the second card, and then of course this goes in my desk, the bigger one.
Nice.
So,
that's pretty sweet.
But yeah, they're awesome. I mean, because a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know or not, but you can actually control the LED just like you can on the newer cards through your I'm drawing a blank. Help me out here.
GFE.
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Yeah, that thing.
Very cool.
So you through your GeForce experience. So you can put it on strobe or just solid green or fading in and out or whatever.
Very cool.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
How's the build quality on them? They seem pretty solid. I'm guessing it's made out of the same material as the shrouds for like the GTX 980s and whatnot, right?
Yeah. So it actually goes with the whole look. You know, that the whole look of the card. I mean, here, what? Let me get a card.
Matches the reference design perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for the most part, the card and the SLI bridges are pretty much exactly the same. Just so happens I got one of their newer cards. So yeah, I mean, pretty much identical. Look, they even stay with the screws. The screws are all the same. You know, and then with the black and everything. And I have taken this apart just to look at it because I wanted to know if the SLI bridge did die, would I be able to replace it? And that's a negative.
That's a negative?
Yeah, because it has built-in LEDs onto. They're actually soldered directly onto the to the PCB. So
gotcha.
Unless I got super creative and added a new trace for those LEDs, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right.
So it's not like you could like reflow it or something and then just kind of pop them off and replace it? Yeah. Okay.
I thought about trying to change, like I have the EVGA one here and I wanted to change the LEDs from red to blue or something.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Damn.
Jesus.
All right.
Did they announce a price yet for those?
I didn't see anything
yeah,
on it.
actually the 2-way I think was $30. I didn't look at the price on the 3-way, but I got an email from NVIDIA that actually took me to their store.
Oh wow. Okay. Gotcha. So they're already selling them on their store then.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. See, this is just another crazy reason to buy a GTX 980 for me. It's like, well, they came out with these awesome SLI bridges that match the reference design cooler of them, so clearly I should spend $600.
That's what NVIDIA's telling you.
Yeah, I know.
And you're not listening.
Well, I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to fight that voice in my head, but it's really tough right now.
Well, I mean, DX12 is a good enough reason, isn't it?
That's a good reason, but I mean...
Damn it, Lee! You're just making this very difficult for me. I'm trying to save money right now, right?
What's the HDMI? HDMI 2. What is it? 2.1 or 2.0?
I believe 2.1.
Is it?
Yeah.
HDMI?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.1.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Or
wow,
the Oculus Rift thing, right?
Oculus.
Oh, well, the what do they call it? Direct VR? Yeah.
One card per eyeball?
Actually, I think DSR interests me quite a bit. I've been playing around with that the last couple days. And I like where they're going with it. In fact, I think if anything, if you're benchmarking out there, if any of you are YouTubers that are or aspiring YouTubers that want to start doing testing, I think it's awesome if you have a 1080p monitor and you use DSR. Basically, you can multiply. I think it starts at 1.2, then it goes like 1.5, and then I don't remember if it goes 2, 3, and 4 after that.
1.5 what?
It's the multiplier times your native resolution of your monitor. So that's how dynamic super resolution works, is it takes whatever your current native resolution is and adds a multiplier to it to render the game bigger than what your monitor can actually portray,
Gotcha.
and then downsampling it to fit in that monitor scale so that you don't have to use like anti-aliasing or anything, get sharper edges, because they are sharper. It's just your monitor's not able to produce how sharp they are. So it's supposed to be a better reproductor. I've been doing some benchmarking with it, and essentially you could take a 1080p monitor and benchmark like you had a 4K monitor. So if you were doing your own testing at home, benchmarking on cards, that's one really cool way to test 4K without actually having to buy a 4K monitor. So in terms of the graphics, though, I wasn't like, oh my god, blown away, because I was sort of playing around with another slider that sets the smoothness, which essentially adds or I guess it makes it more blurry without as much anti-aliasing, so it's like downscaling it to the point where it's just like a fuzzy video as opposed to the game's sharpness that you want to have.
I see.
I don't know why you'd want to do that unless you were just really kind of trying to get screen real estate you don't actually have, and then offset your performance with that slider is really what you're
Was
doing.
it kind of like a poor man's anti-aliasing or something in a way? Or
Yeah.
just so it doesn't burn as many resources? So
Right.
instead of seeing those sharp edges, it just kind of blurs the sides a little bit?
Right. Well, actually, imagine it more like a movie that you're streaming or something that
Gotcha.
you're streaming. It's more blurred like that. And I'm
Right.
sure that's probably what it is. It's probably got something to do with the H.264 encoding that's built into it, but I don't know. I haven't talked to Tom about this or anybody else at NVIDIA to confirm anything.
Makes sense.
But it's just my tests show that you get pretty much the same frame rate within a couple frames on 4K with DSR enabled ×4 on a 1080p monitor as you would a 4K monitor.
Have you actually done the testing like on a native 4K monitor versus using DSR on a 1080 to see if the
Yes.
performance is actually right on par? Or?
Wait for my review. Wait for my review.
Okay.
I'm throwing something up pretty soon. You guys will like it.
That'll be an interesting video.
But
I'm curious
basically-
myself.
But basically, you could take a 4K monitor and do 4 times that resolution, render 4 times that resolution, and shrink it down. Your system can't handle it. No system right now can handle it. Few systems can handle 4K. So what I was doing was I did, just for fun, a 2160 by 1440 setting res, and then I upscaled that by 4, and I think it was like 7160 by something, and I got like 2 frames a second in Crisis. So like I went like 2 feet through the doorway where we normally start our benchmark, got like killed almost instantly because I couldn't see what was happening. I was like, you know what, I'm saving this benchmark just for fun. I'm going to show this to them later. So yeah. So
Sounds like a good review, Steve.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
So I think at this particular point, it's time for us to do our Q&A segment.
Some quegs.
Yeah, so if you guys have questions for Kyle or myself, you can go ahead and tweet them to us. Our Twitter handles are here. We also have PCJunkieMods, his Twitter handle. If you want to type that into the chat, Lee, so that they can have it, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can tweet to us questions, and we will do our best to answer a couple of them for you. So I probably have some at this point. Kyle, do you have anything?
Well, Josh from Fractal, if you guys know Fractal Josh, he just tweeted me and said, I can't catch Newegg Alt+Tab Live today, but you can catch them at this link. And thank you, Kyle, on his fashion sense. Hashtag shirt, not the hair. So first off, it's not very nice of you, Josh, to comment about my hair that way. But this is a Fractal shirt, and it's a depiction of. You want to explain what this is really quick?
So the red-haired gentleman in the center, that's Josh. To the right of him, we have Luke getting a fist bump from Josh. Simultaneously, on the Josh's right is a pixelized version of Linus getting pied in the face.
Yes.
Well, he's doing an overview that he was actually asked to be pied in the face as part of something that Josh had started an initiative with. So then, of course, Josh made a shirt out of it. He called it fist bump pie face. Is that what he called it?
Something like that.
Pie face fist bump, something like that. and so he sent out a couple of these, and I think he might actually have them for sale too, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I got this from you, actually.
Well, I mean, I got it from Josh.
Oh,
Josh
yeah.
thought of asked, who wanted one, and of course you.
Yes, it's a true testament to Josh's ability to multitask. I think being able to bro fist while throwing a pie in someone's face, be it Linus, because he's a quick little dude. He can jump around.
Fast.
He's very evasive.
I've seen him with sword and shield. He's very quick.
Yes, so kudos to Josh for being able to pull off that stunt.
Oh, Paul is tweeting to us. He's saying that he's watching the show. So Paul, awesome dude, big fan of you. You were very cool, and I love this thing. I love the soul patch.
That's a keeper right there.
Yeah.
Savor the flavor.
Tina actually did buttons of Kyle and Paul's faces, little mini buttons, and they're like monochromatic. No, they're several different colors, but basically like a small version of your face where you have a neck beard and Paul has his little soul patch. Like that's the most memorable things of both those pictures, and I just think of that every time. catch the iconic buttons from Tina, which is creativetart.com, I want to say.
There should have been
Tart Designs,
I feel like there should have been there was opportunity for an April Fool's stunt where like Paul and I were to come in and I would just have a goatee or a little soul patch and he would have like a full neck beard.
Dude.
Just to throw off everyone.
We need to see it.
And then just pretend like it's always been that way.
You guys are crazy.
We are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You got anything, Lee? Do you got any tweets yet?
Do I get any tweets?
Yeah, just bump in whenever you do. I'll let you keep checking that. Kyle, what do you got?
I've got something from well, this isn't really a question, just a fun picture from I am Apropos, one of our avid followers he's cooking. It's a picture of like lettuce and blueberries. He's cooking in his kitchen, but he's also got his tablet set up and he's watching us right now.
Paul,
which
that's
is
really
awesome.
strange because lettuce and blueberries, that's almost like something you'd get in an MMO to give you boosts in something like blueberries boost to antioxidants, and I don't know what the...
I follow you, Steve.
You follow me?
I follow you.
You see where I'm going with this?
Early gathering stuff.
Yes, early stuff. This is how you make like a shitty pie. Oh, damn. I didn't mean to cuss on that. But that's how
Sorry,
you make a
Anna,
crappy
you're going to have
pie.
to edit that out.
Yeah, what time is it? Like 32 minutes in. Steve cussed. Where's it? Can you write that down?
You have to put $1 in the swear jar, Steve.
Remind me in 1 hour to tell Anna that I cursed at 32 minutes.
That's funny.
1 sec.
Why did she tell me 1 sec? Like, she's gotten sassy.
One sec.
One update later, she's all sassy.
I don't wait for you, Siri. You wait for me.
Yeah, you are my electronic slave. That's what you do. You're in my pocket all day long.
Don't make me bend you.
Yep.
Getting bit. Shots fired.
All right, so John Ivar Rubach says to us, crap, you didn't get the notification email. Twitch dropped the ball. Okay, so never mind. I thought it was going to be a question. I didn't even read it first.
Come on, guys. Send in any questions you may have. Honestly, this is a great time to ask questions about water cooling because we have Lee right here, who is a freaking magician when it comes to water cooling, custom water cooling loops, that is. So if you have, and modding as well. So if you have any modding or water cooling questions at all, feel free to tweet me, Steve, or Lee as well. Yep. Or you can just send one in the Twitch chat. So bring it on.
Go ahead, Lee.
So not bearded.
Okay.
He said, am I still working on the COD PC for the competition before the winners announced? If they were announced, I don't know. That'd be yes. We're still working on it because we want it to look perfect when it gets sent out.
Cool.
Very cool.
Awesome. So Lamont asks a pretty personal question. With everybody leaving at Newegg, does that mean that there's now openings at Newegg? And I would say technically there are openings, yes. But I'm not sure when they be filled, when the recs are going to be submitted, and when they're going to show up on our site. But I guess stay tuned to Newegg.com's careers section of the site, and you know you could be a very happy man.
That's actually what's up.
What did I miss?
Okay. There were some things that happened, Lee. I don't know how to break this to you, but there's been some changes. We still have Kyle and Paul, but in a smaller capacity. About 1/5 of what we used to have them. Yeah.
Yes. I can't say much more beyond that.
Contractually obligated not to.
Yeah,
so
especially
I
on a
can.
live stream, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's still good that we have them here because that's a huge benefit.
Paul and I are still providing support to the team, just in other ways, and we're actually doing a little bit more on the back end.
You're providing support to the team primarily on the back end.
Primarily support to the team
right?
via the back end.
Kyle, I need some support from your back end real quick.
I never asked for this.
Hold on, I'm gonna get my camera.
Oh God,
Obligated.
this is going on live. We're live. We're live right now. This has gone horribly awry.
I'm just doing what you said you were allowed to do for me because of a contract.
I asked for water cooling questions, and this is what I get. I freaking hate this show.
Hey,
Kyle,
I'm the one that brought it up.
yeah. All right, so we got another question. Is it better to get Joe McCann wants to know, is it better to get an interior sound card, an internal sound card, I think is what he's trying to say, or getting an external DAC and amp? So it depends on your perspective. Like for me, I like onboard sound, but then again, I'm not Logan from Tech Syndicate, who is like an audiophile. Like he hears static that I do not hear. And you probably are more of an audiophile than I am. I mean, like, what do you think?
Well, I think that it's personally, it's up to the individual user, and not only a preference thing, but it's like what your ears are capable of hearing. Because like you said, Logan can probably hear certain frequencies higher or lower than we can, so he can hear certain like little hisses or little artifacts that I would never notice.
Like he's tuned in to hear him.
Exactly.
Like it's something that he thinks about listening for. You know?
Right.
Like you and I might just be like, oh, whatever. That's like the tinnitus that I hear constantly. So I'm not really worried about it. But I would warn you and anybody else out there not to use the front header connector for your audio, because typically for your microphone and your headphones, they're gonna be terrible.
Yeah, I can notice the static on the front panel header with that sort of thing.
Right, like everybody's got a friend that was connected into like, you know, GameVox or Mumble or TeamSpeak, and they're like, dude, you have this terrible hum in the background. Just make sure they plug it into the back or reconnect the 3.5 connector, 3.5 millimeter connector, and that usually solves that problem.
Otherwise, you'll sound like you're from space.
Yeah, it's terrible, absolutely terrible.
So, should I be chiming in on some of these?
Hit it.
On the
words that you use.
Yeah, go for
it. So somebody's asking. I mean, I keep forgetting. I'm looking at the Twitter over here, but I keep forgetting to look at Twitch.
Oh yeah, Twitch chat's good.
So somebody, let's see, Pack Mappies. I don't want to mispronounce that. So he says, does the order of the components that the cooling loop goes through matter? Technically, no.
Oh, really?
But it can, depending on how you set it up. So what I mean by it can is if you go, let's say, radiate or pump reservoir to, let's say, CPU, then GPU, and then radiator. Well, what happens there is you're just sending heat to another component that gets warm. So to me, yes, it matters. So usually what I try to do is break up my components. So if I go pump reservoir to GPU, then to radiator, then to CPU, then to radiator again, then I'm cooling down the heat before I send it to another component. So as far as that order goes, it can, as long as it goes reservoir to pump, you're good. Anything after that doesn't matter. You know,
Gotcha.
so but yes, it can make a difference.
Cool. Good question. Good
so,
answer.
And then somebody said, please answer my question on Gmail. I don't know who they're talking to.
That is way too complicated of a request, sir.
Right?
check your email. I've sent you a question. We're not checking the Q&Egg Gmail right now because, well, basically, usually Jenny handles that, and we're trying to make this as quick as possible. So you can ask your questions in chat. You can tweet them to us, or you can hold out until the next time with an email to us, and we'll probably get you guys on another one.
Yep. I've got a good question for you, from Lee, from somebody on my Twitter. This is from JaiForce1. He's asking, with a closed loop water cooler, how often would I need to change the water?
For a closed loop?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean,
I don't think you're supposed to.
I think he meant open loop, or know, like a custom loop water cooling system.
My biggest thing for a custom loop is basically the way I kind of look at that is you want to check it anywhere from 6 months to a year. But I mean, if you have red liquid and it turns brown, I would say change it. You know, that's the biggest notification for time to change your liquid is color change, coagulation. You know, where it kind of balls up or doesn't look the same. Your temps are real bad. You know, stuff like that. But for the most part, I mean, I think you can get away with like some of the Primo-Chill stuff and coolant stuff. Those pre-mixed liquids you can use for I think up to a year or longer before you have to change it.
When are we gonna see little like robotic plastic goldfish in a big reservoir while the water's flowing?
That'd be so cool, right?
When are we gonna see something like that? And then
I don't know. You have to anchor them because otherwise they're gonna end up in your GPU and your CPU.
Well, I figured they wouldn't go down, depending on the gauge size. Like I figured they wouldn't go down the hole, but like just to have them anchored there, just kind of swimming, or maybe have them swimming against the current.
But then
that'd be kind of cool.
With big teeth, so they're piranhas, right?
And like have that fake seaweed inside that's just kind of sticking in there, makes it look like an aquarium.
What a terrible experience for a fish, though. Like to always be down current. That's like if you were drowning in a bathtub and it was always trying to suck you in.
Yeah,
that's your whole life living in a water-cooled system.
Or it's like when you swim in those endless pools that are just.
It would just die from exhaustion. Like when you
Not a real fish. I said a robot fish.
Oh, a robot fish.
Jesus Christ! You thought I was gonna put a real fish?
I know. I was like, what a terrible thought,
First
Steve.
off, it's like alcohol-based liquid or something, right?
Kyle's not the best person to ask for fish advice.
Yeah, Kyle kills fish on a regular. Kyle loves sushi.
I had
a
pet fish, Lee, that was on my desk for about a week until he started getting really sick. and Jenny had to. Jenny asked me permission. I was actually out sick one day, and she was like, "Can I have permission to kill your fish?" And I was like, "Why? What happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's really sick." So she flushed him down the Newegg toilet.
Oh, I thought she was gonna put him in like the freezer or something.
She put him in.
Set him free.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's back with his his dead family now, so that's good for him.
Wow.
But I try to be sensitive about these sort of things. But apparently there is a way to peacefully kill a fish.
Yeah, it's in
which
the
I didn't
fridge,
know.
right?
You put it in the fridge. I didn't know that. I thought it would just freeze and turn like an ice.
Oh,
like
that's
a,
only if you hate
like
it.
a fish pop. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to get down to a certain temperature. Before freezing, it'll die.
Gotcha. So
But
it'll
I
actually
only
pass out
remember-
before it freezes, right?
Right, it's like hypothermia or whatever. I don't know
Alright.
how it works with the fish, but yeah.
It's like when I
Here's
turn on
an-
all the fans at night.
Here's another good question on
Go
the Twitch chat.
Yep.
It's Atterbury75 said, "What are the basic tools you need to mod?"
That's a good one.
I pretty much just use all hand tools. So my favorite friend is the all-time Dremel.
Yeah.
So with the Dremel, you can do pretty much anything. So I
All
mean,
different heads to it.
that's a pretty basic tool, you know. Of course, screwdrivers and stuff take things apart. But yeah.
How much should I spend on a good Dremel? Because I don't have one yet, and I was thinking about getting one just for future. It's good to have, but I don't know like the difference between a good Dremel and a crappy one that's going to die on me or break.
Like a Walmart $60 one or like the $120 one that's got like, all
Right,
the
yeah.
stuff.
How much should I spend on?
The one that says Dremel on it, that's the good one.
The
That's it? Okay.
No, I would go with the Dremel 4000. That's pretty
Dremel
good.
4000.
I
Okay,
think it's around $100 or maybe a little less.
nice. I'll
Okay.
check that out.
Sweet.
Very cool.
All right, I got another couple questions here. Aaron Hunt wants to know, are CPU threads kind of gimmicky when compared to actual physical CPU cores? I actually don't know the main advantages of the physical core versus the thread, so I wouldn't be a good answer for that. Do you guys know off the top of your head?
Well, I think
So-
Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
No, I was, so basically they're asking, is the extra threads gimmicky?
Right, like 8-core, 16-thread. Are the 16
No, they're-
threads like helping you tremendously versus having just an 8-core CPU?
Well, I'm sure we all probably agree on this one. It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, they're not gimmicky, but I mean, for a gamer, I mean, you don't need an 8-core CPU, that's for sure.
Right.
Because most games right now are what? You'd be lucky if they're optimized for 3-core or 4-core.
Something like that.
Yeah.
CPU barred games like what is it, Civ 5? There's like 3 or 4 in my head that always pop in, and right now I'm not remembering.
Crysis
them.
3 actually uses quite a bit of CPU as well.
That's just a
Surprisingly.
beast of a engine, anyways.
Yeah, all around.
Crytek engine.
But I think, the best thing to do to see if you're actually using your cores and threads is to open up your task manager or download a program that lets you see your CPU performance, run that application, put a workload on it, and just see actually if you're utilizing all the cores you just spend a couple $100 on
Yeah.
to see if,
Right.
because some programs are developed to take advantage of those cores and those threads and others are not. And there's no real, black or white to it. You just kind of have to go in and see for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, like video editing, for instance.
Yep.
It's going to take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Do you guys got another one?
Oh no, we dropped Lee.
Drop Lee
Uh-oh.
back. Well, we can hear you, but just we can't see you here. We have a little.
You're just a mysterious, ominous voice now.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing whatever. I'm making all these faces, and you don't even know what I'm doing.
Oh God. We've given you too much power.
Yeah, right. Here's another good question. Are we done with that one?
Yeah, go for it.
So let's see here. How do you say that? Lice Fiskern. He's asking, is the D5, is there any other pump for water cooling besides the D5 worth buying? And I would say yes. The DDC pump is pretty good. But for the most part, the only 2 pumps that I really use are DDC and the D5, because depending on the setup, the DDC pump might be good for an ITX, a real small form factor, or even a big system too. It just depends on your space constraints and what kind of reservoir you're going with and stuff.
Cool.
So,
I got another one, unless you're.
Go for it. I'll
yeah.
go after you.
So David Ciccarello, sorry man, I just slaughtered it. He's asking a quick question, and he just wants to know, will we ever see an extra length Alt+Tab plus WAN show? And my bet is probably not, but I already know that Kyle and Paul are going to be on the WAN show today after our show.
That's right.
So
yeah, we're going to be special guests on the WAN show with Linus and Slick, and I think it should be a good show, but certainly not better than this one.
Good show.
Oh yeah,
good show.
of course. Well played.
Well played. But do you think he's going to play some hardball with you? You think he's going to be like drilling you guys with some tough questions?
I mean, yeah, but we can just fire hard questions right back at him.
Yeah.
I've got
What's
an
a hard
arsenal.
question for Linus? Not like your end-all nuclear bomb hard question.
Oh yeah,
like
I can't
just
reveal
like,
that just yet.
Yeah, you
Jeez,
gotta
come
make
on.
sure.
He's probably watching this right now.
He's like, what are they gonna do?
What, are you
Writing
working
down
for
notes.
Linus? Are you trying to get me to confess on
Work for
camera?
Luke. Luke
That's
apparently
true.
works for Linus.
No, people will just have to watch the show to find out.
Okay.
I can't reveal much at this time.
An unknown reveal.
Indeed. All right, so I've got another good question here. Is it possible to put RAM on a custom loop cooler?
I've heard of that.
Yes, I believe so, right?
What do you mean?
Or I think he means, is it possible to put a custom loop or
Can you
include
run water
RAM?
cooling through DIMMs?
Right.
And I believe that you can.
So you want a cool RAM in your custom loop, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's possible, right?
Zooming in.
Damn, this is getting serious. Oh, take a look. He
What's
doesn't
this
even
I
have to
see?
say anything.
What's
That's his.
Are
Both,
those metal pipes, by the way, or is that PVC?
Do you guys see that?
Yeah, it's hard to see because I know what it is because you have memory on both sides. Is that X79 or X99?
That's X99.
for
Okay,
sure.
cool.
That's the EVGA board. I think that
Oh yeah.
Paul did for his personal
The
channel as well.
classified?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Well, there it is, guys.
Oh,
There's your
that's
answer, sir. Whoever asked that question, the Trident MC. Clearly, there are two water blocks on each of those sets of sticks. So
Yeah, so
That's
8
awesome.
sticks.
8 sticks. Is that 64 gigs?
No, actually, I think it's. I want to say it's 32, but I could be wrong.
Nice.
Dylan, you can't ask questions like that because I'm not going to say them on the air.
I forget. I put it together a couple weeks ago. Things have been hectic.
You're good. No, I'm sorry. I was yelling at one of our followers.
Oh.
D-Man Duck. Yeah, sorry. No, you're doing great, man. Thank you.
What's the name? What's the name and model of that open red case that's behind Kyle? That's the InWin D frame. It's actually orange. It might look red on camera, but it's actually really bright orange. It's got some blue rubber accents all around the edges, and it's basically an open air test bed chassis that we've been using for benchmarking for quite some time now. InWin likes to make these really elaborate, extravagant, and uniquely designed cases that they only make a certain limited quantity of. So I think there's like only 500 or 600 of those made. And I think it actually has like an imprint. So if you guys are familiar with the S-frame at all, which is the case that Lee was just pointing at a minute ago, that's another one of them. That's another InWin case that's very highly unique and very exclusive. Does that have the number on it, Lee?
Actually, the funny part is this one actually came from Computex.
Oh wow! So that's even more exclusive. This was like a demo unit practically.
It was the one that was on the floor display, and
Nice.
The guy I'm working with for the build at Intel, he actually
a little bit of tape on
managed
there.
to take it home with him.
Very nice. So that could very well be number 001 of the S-frame. And
Yeah, because there's no number. The as you can see in the top corner there, I don't know if you can see that.
right.
There is the actual plate where the number would be,
Yeah.
but there's nothing in there.
That's
So,
fancy. That's pretty baller status. It doesn't even have a number. It's ground zero right there.
So I'm
ground
doing,
zero.
I'm doing a little bit of work on this. Lee, you probably can't see this right now, but that is an H110, and it's taped right now because I'm getting 2 more fans for it to do push-pull push-pull configuration. And I'm actually going to drill some holes into the top where the plastic is for part of the frame of the fan and attach it there with zip ties so it'll stay up. But right now it's just tape because it's not ready for its big reveal yet. And there's Kyle.
I think I won, they said.
Do you think
Yeah.
you won? I gotta focus on Kyle's neck beard. This is what we always do at work, is focus on a part of Kyle that has lots of hair.
If I move it fast enough, you can't focus.
I'm focused. We're good.
No! Anyway. All right, another question. How hard would it be to put a custom loop in a micro ATX case? I mean, I can attest to this. I've seen custom loops. I think I've even seen some custom loops that you've done, Lee, where you did it in a mini ITX case. So feel like a micro ATX case gives you some even more room to mess around with and put some bigger radiators in there and whatnot. Am I right?
Yeah, it's a micro. Well, you and I both know that just building in something that small is already a pain in the butt, right?
Sure.
So imagine that tenfold, because now you're trying to cram tubes and water blocks and stuff that probably aren't supposed to be in there.
Right. So do you absolutely like loathe any time you're given a project where you have to do a custom water cooling loop in a mini ITX build? Is that like one of your pet peeves?
I mean, I'll do it, but the end result, my hands are all bloody, you know, and
Oh,
that's usually what happens.
Jesus.
So
That's rough.
it's one of those things where it's almost better to lay it out, right, and then build it outside the case, and then stick it in as one piece,
Right.
if you
Gives
can.
more flexibility, yeah.
So I've got one more, and then we can finish up a couple more stories and then call it a day, guys. So Abados asks, are you looking forward to the up-and-coming release of Grey Goo game, and do you think it will be as popular as StarCraft 2? Actually, I really like Grey Goo. Checked it out at PAX East with Paul and Nick from Game Crate, and I really like it. So I think it will be awesome. But I honestly, for the life of me right now, I can't remember all of the cool things I liked about it at the time because I haven't revisited it since then.
Isn't Grey Goo like a tomato sauce or something?
Grey
Grey Goo. That's what I meant.
Ragu. Check out the new Ragu game.
I meant, guys.
Check it out at ragugame.com.
Spaghetti
Yeah,
sauce.
I'm hip. I know what's up. Actually, Lee, the last water cooling question I asked you brought up another question that I had personally that it just came to me right now. I thought it would be a good question to ask. So if you're dealing with a water cooling loop on a mini ITX system, I know that the shorter your tubes are, theoretically, you get better airflow, or better flow, I guess, or better current going through your system. Do you actually see higher performance cooling-wise with a mini ITX system where the tubes are much shorter than you would in a full tower chassis with long tubes going from end to end, or does that not make a difference?
I think it seemed like you lagged out a little bit there, but
oh, sorry. Okay, basically, is there any?
So the short tubes and then long tubes, you're asking if the cooling's any better,
right,
or the flow?
I guess both.
Are there any advantages?
The flow is going to be better because it's going a shorter distance.
Right.
And then the cooling, I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference. But if your pump's turned up too high, that means the liquid may travel across your processor or your GPU too fast to even transfer the heat, which could be a downfall. So you'd have to actually turn the pump down.
I see.
So the speed and the transfer of your heat exchange, it has to be comparable. I mean, if you have like 10 pumps hooked up to a CPU loop, obviously it's going to cool, but it could cool better with one pump on medium or something setting.
Gotcha. So there is such a thing as having too fast of a current, or too fast or too powerful of a flow.
Yeah.
You kind of have to find that happy medium.
So it's kind of cool to see a chassis that was made pretty much as like a constant like radiator that goes all the way around, so that no matter how fast it was going, it was always just like constantly cooling.
Right.
You just plug into it anywhere, right? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And you could just kind of feed in anytime you wanted to. Like it would have an in and then an out hose that just kind of loops back in again, and just wherever you wanted to. Like build
that
a whole
would be
chassis.
sweet.
Lee, get on this. That'd be awesome.
Just don't charge me an arm and a leg for it.
Yeah, because it's going to cost an arm and a leg for sure. It'll be one of 50. That's all you get.
Who won the NVIDIA case mods? Modded cases? Don't know.
Don't know yet.
Wasn't me, so I don't care.
So I'm gonna push us forward because we got a couple more little things that we want to announce or talk about really briefly.
Yes.
First and foremost, we have an article here from Anantech, and they're talking about USB Type-C basically, which is the newest connector style for USB. But more importantly, that there is a new standard that's being created that's actually going to allow for video, power, and data all through the same connector. So just a couple key things to mention here. One, USB Power Delivery 2.0 spec has been announced. Basically, it's going to allow devices to be powered at 5 amps, for 5 amps at 5 volts, 12 volts, 20 volts, and a maximum power delivery of 100 watts total, which would be pretty cool. I think that might be enough to power like maybe a low-end video card too via that connector. But I think one of the things that they're saying would be the coolest part, or maybe the most groundbreaking, is that if if a DisplayPort alternate mode was basically announced from Visa, and it will mean that you could transfer video obviously through this connector, but on top of that, that would mean that it could pretty much carry just about everything, because having one connector for all of your devices to connect, I think is so fascinating.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Like, buy like 50 of them in your cable drawer, and you just have every cable you ever need right there. You just reach inside, grab it. Next one, reach inside, grab it. Next one, and you just attach tons of different devices. What do you guys think?
So there is speculation here, basically, is what you're saying, that this new form factor, this new connector, has the potential to be somewhat of a universal connection between any kind of video device, so that it could carry DisplayPort signal, you know, whether it's HDMI or whatnot. You wouldn't need to get all these different cables. You wouldn't have to find adapters anymore, right? DVI to HDMI, for example.
Right.
And plus, you could charge your mobile devices a lot quicker with the same connection as well.
Yeah.
So that part's just kind of weird to me. Like, I can't imagine, like, if I was in a dire situation where my phone was dying, I'd have to like stop gaming for a minute and like unplug my HDMI cable and plug it into my phone to get me like 2 more hours of juice. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's incredible how versatile this thing could potentially be, and how it could change the face of everything. You know, smartphones now will all come with the same cable. Every monitor comes with the same cable. The only one who won't come with the same cable is Apple. They'll still have like their proprietary cable that you have to pay $50 for, at the Apple store.
But for $20, you can buy the adapter, and
Of
that's
course.
solving the problem
Of
right
course.
there. I mean, $20 versus 50.
They don't call them geniuses for nothing.
That's right. Where do I sign up for 50 of those? Have you ever used the MHL port or MHL connector for your phone to charge it and like transmit video through it?
MHL port? Which one's
so
that?
like it's like a HDMI. It's like a mini HDMI, or it can be micro.
I have not used it.
Okay.
No.
I was just curious. Has anybody out there done it? Have you, Lee? Have you messed around with that?
With what?
MHL. It's basically a single connector that can connect into devices to charge them and also transmit video. And in some cases, control.
What does the port look like?
I think it's micro USB on one end. It
Micro?
might be mini HDMI, but I highly doubt it. I think it's micro USB on one side and HDMI on the other. It's just like that, and it just goes HDMI into your TV.
Interesting.
So like it videos out and then charges your phone simultaneously.
Huh. I don't know much about that. That's really interesting. though.
MHL's been out for a while. Like I'll show you.
Okay. No, I believe you. So.
No, now I want to check what the connector is.
Steve's just talking out of his hole. Hole is the word of the day.
Hole.
In fact, you guys can all carry on that word to the WAN show later today when Paul and I are on there.
That
Just
looks
call everyone a hole.
that's a mini HDMI, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
guess
that's
so.
regular HDMI, and that might be so that it can be powered from here, and then give it to it in case your device isn't MHL compatible.
Right.
But yeah.
Huh. Interesting. So this is obviously what we're talking about here in the article from Anantech is a much more developed, advanced version of this, and
Yeah. No, it totally fascinates me.
and C, it's a Type C USB connector, so it's not going to look like a Type A or B, what we're familiar to seeing. I don't think there's even any images of what a Type C connection looks like, is there?
I think this is it. I mean,
Is
that's
that it?
obviously like a crappy version of it, but
You sure that's not just like a standard?
let me bring it up.
This is a port, like an iStock image of a port. I mean, I hope that the connector itself is reversible. I hope
It
it's
is.
not keyed. It is.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So I love that it's at an angle so I can't see it. That's like
They
the
did
best
it on
part about this
purpose.
article. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, so basically it's a rounded USB cable with lines on both sides so that it can read on either.
Cool.
Either part of the receptacle. That's pretty.
That's
dandy.
exciting. I don't know how many times I've had to like fumble around. Like I'll have a flash drive and I'll try to stick it in my desktop computer on the top and just be like, "Nah!
It's in the Ethernet port. It's
then-
sideways in the
Yeah.
Ethernet port.
Finally have to like stand up and be like, all right, it goes this way.
Yeah.
It's first world problems.
Okay.
Swear to God. All right, it's 4 o'clock, so should we talk about more stories or wrap
just
some
finish
stuff
up.
up? All right, yeah, let's
knock
finish the
these
story.
out. These are yours.
All right,
Let's
so
do
this is
real
an interesting story I found. Thom Yorke, who's the lead singer, lead artist from Radiohead, the band from the UK, he is the first person ever to release an album via BitTorrent. So BitTorrent started this new initiative called paygated, which is basically offering bundles, of digital downloadable content to artists, so that they can actually cut out the middleman, any kind of like bigwig publishing companies or whatever, and actually just push all their content directly to their audience. So they have more control via internet commerce to basically give out their music and sell their music any way they want at whatever price. So his album's going for like $6, I think, for the entire download. But I thought it was interesting that this is kind of a new thing. This is the first time an artist has ever sold anything on BitTorrent in this fashion.
I mean, if you guys recall the Apple keynote, I mean, U2 is now giving away their music, their newest CD, for free on iTunes. So it's probably too highfalutin for you to download iTunes just to get that. But
yeah, exactly. But
then you could BitTorrent. Well, you probably could BitTorrent it anyway. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Lee, your thoughts?
Yeah. No. I was reading the article right now. I'm in outer space, so
That's okay.
No worries. It's Friday. You have a right to be.
So this is the first guy to actually make money off of that? Is that what you're saying, right?
Well, he's the first one to take advantage of BitTorrent's new paygate program, which is basically it's kind of like handling all of the digital download deliverables for any kind of musician, artist. I'm guessing even independent movie producers could probably use this service as well and upload their feature-length films to BitTorrent so people can download them and stuff.
So they're like brokering it, like they're making
they're brokering. They're making all the shots. They're completely controlling how much money they're making. They're just basically cutting out that middleman. So instead of having like a record label or whatever those big companies are that that handle that sort of thing. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Sounds like
more control to the actual creators of content as opposed to the publishers that strike deals with them. That are kind of more self-employed.
Right.
Okay. I'll move you to another story real quick.
Oh yeah, this is another story I found. So YouTube, this is kind of interesting. YouTube is basically buying primetime ads for particular YouTube channels. So they've already paid for advertisements, ad marketing strategies for 3 different YouTube channels. Vice, which they do a lot of crazy, intense like news. Yeah, yep, that's exactly them. Okay. And then you've got Zoella, who's I think a beauty vlogger. She talks about makeup and hair and boys and stuff. So I'm totally into her. And the slow-mo guys, who they film stuff in slow motion. But basically, YouTube is paying for ad campaigns for all these 3 channels, and they're going to be putting their advertisements on TV primetime commercials on shows like X Factor, for example. And this is mainly it's a UK initiative. So if you live in the UK, you might see a commercial for the slow-mo guys while you're watching, your favorite late night TV show or whatever, which is really interesting, and it's cool for YouTubers like us and for people that live in YouTube most of the time to see that YouTube is really YouTube and Google are putting a lot of their resources into kind of just pushing this whole partner thing forward. They kind of want to have an alternative solution for people that's not cable television, and I think that's a great way to do it, is to why not? Why don't we just start advertising this on actual TV?
Hit the mainstream. Yeah,
hit the mainstream. And this is going to be all across, print, TV, and billboard ads as well.
Wow.
Everywhere.
Because I remember a couple of different people, I don't know if any of them are on this list. Nope, I guess not. So I actually saw a couple that were on TV. I don't remember which one. I think it's Bethany Moda.
Michelle Phan's another huge beauty vlogger.
Yep, that girl's gorgeous, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And Rosanna Pensino. I actually saw commercials for her.
She does a cooking show or something, right?
Right. Yeah. And I was like, and then there's a YouTube thing, and they end it with like this, like they hold up something and it has like the YouTube logo right over it.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. By the way, I got a text from Josh from Fractal, Lee, and he says, sorry he couldn't make the stream, and he also said hi to you, Lee, and wanted to apologize that you have to hang out with us jokers. So.
Tell him where's my shirt.
I'll tell him that.
He's just jealous.
What's up, Josh?
Josh gets jealous when he's not hanging out with us, when other people do. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting because like a YouTube channel like Vice, for example. They're already pretty much well established, and they don't.
They're on Netflix.
They don't exactly. They don't really need YouTube's help for advertising their own campaign.
Yeah.
But I was shocked to see like dudes like slow-mo guys getting this kind of support because they're just two dudes with a home video camera. Granted, it's probably like a $15,000 camera that can do slow motion at 5,000 frames per second, but still, I mean, these are ragtag crews of guys that just dick around all day, that just mess around all day at home. They make YouTube videos, and YouTube's totally fully willing to support them. Which is really
you can say that, by the way.
inspiring.
You're just saying Richard. They just Richard around.
Yeah, they just Richard around.
So
exactly.
I actually want them to do a how's it made video, but the whole thing in slow-mo. So they're like walking up to put the firecracker down. It's like 10 minutes of just slow-mo. It's really in 30 seconds, but it like winds out.
And the actual activity is just in regular time speed?
Yeah. They're at lunch, smoking a cigarette. Like,
this is why they have millions of subscribers and we don't.
Yeah, our ideas are terrible.
We slow-moed the wrong thing!
God!
You had
And
one
then,
job.
like, the one thing blows up at regular speed, and then it goes back to slow motion as they walk over to pick it up. That'd be great.
Excellent.
So I have a brief final story to talk about. Apple releases iOS 8.02 or 8.02 to fix issues caused by 8.01. So those of you who own an Apple device like myself and Lee actually as well, we typically don't update for like a month after a new phone launch or after a new iOS launch. So what do you think, Lee?
Well, that depends. If the last update was screwed up, then I will update, which is usually the case. But like right now, I haven't updated my 5 since 8 whatever came out. So I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
That's a better deal, dude.
I think waiting's always better with newer, fresher updates until they work out the kinks.
What kind of issues were caused by the 801 update?
I didn't even read the story. I just thought this was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, just
so
some
like
bugs.
When you're texting, your letters will lag out.
Oh
Like,
God, I hate that.
You'll text like a whole sentence, and then all of a sudden, all the letters will land.
All at the same time, yeah.
My phone does that now. I don't need an update to do that. I got this.
You need to update.
Yeah, so it says that some of the fixes were that impacted cellular network connectivity, so your phone drops a lot more, fixes a bug so that Health Kit apps can now be made available, addresses some issue with third-party keyboards, fixes an issue with some apps, accessing photos. Hopefully it fixes an issue with your stuff being jacked from iCloud. That'd probably be a good update. Reliability, reachability feature. A reachability feature? What is the reachability feature? That sounds funnier than it.
That
probably
sounds
really
dirty.
is. Yeah. Like,
A reachability
Do
feature?
you have the reachability feature? Because I just can't.
Let me give you a hands-on demo of how the reachability feature
If
works.
I reach around to find the reachability feature, can you help me with the reachability feature? Lee's just kind of like looking around the room. Like, at what point do I tell them they're being stupid? Do I just let them keep going, or? Yes. No. You.
That should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, actually, they do fix an issue where ringtones were sometimes not restored from iCloud. So maybe that's like what they mean is just like we kept people hopefully from jacking your password, but no, it's just ringtones.
Where's the patch to keep your iPhone from bending?
Yeah, that patch isn't out yet.
Oh wait, that's a hardware issue. You can't fix that in a patch.
There's
Sorry.
a firmware update to add a metal plate that's thicker.
Hey, I'm not defending Apple or nothing, but my buddy, he ordered the 6, and he had it delivered here. So the first thing, he's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and open it up and check it out if you want." And I'm just thinking, why? I already got the 5, but so I did open it because I wanted to see if it would bend, and so I kind of I'm like,
A little bit.
I'll let him do it.
Yeah.
So he came over and picked it up, and I was like, "Hey, see if it'll bend," and he's like, "Man, that's only on the plus, and who's gonna put it in their back pocket and sit on it in the first place?"
That's a good point. Well, I did hear some people were putting it on the side of their pocket. Skinny jeans are the real threat here.
That's the culprit.
Well, if you had to put your jeans on with the butter knife, then you probably had a problem.
Shoehorn. Hold on.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna hold them up and I'm gonna run and jump into them.
Yeah.
Let gravity do the work.
Which is funny because I feel like a lot of the people that use iPhones are skinny jean wearers.
I'm not skinny. He's not skinny jean.
Well,
wearer.
okay, that's backwards. I should say
Okay.
a lot of people who wear skinny jeans use iPhones.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That's fair to say.
They're not mutually exclusive. Yeah,
Exactly.
I follow what you're saying now. All right, guys, it's 10 minutes after. I think we've dragged this on long enough, although I had a lot of fun doing it.
So did I. And thank you so much, Lee, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, you can follow Lee at PCJunkieMods on Twitter, as well as check out his website, PCJunkieMods.com. It's .com, right?
.com, yeah.
Got it. All right, awesome. So go ahead and check that out. And thank you guys so much for watching the show. We're going to be back next week, as always. And I think is that about it, Steve?
Yeah.